What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out, and I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Well, I made it. Freaked me out, man. I don't know. that went over the mic or not, but I've got a couple of, pardon me, I think I don't know if they're pint, half pint, or whatever the hell size they are. Pardon me, they're about a half a cup, whatever that would be. Mason jars. And I've got them sitting over there on top of my computer tower because they have in them THC-infused oil, coconut oil. After the show, I have to make some gummies, and so the oil was in the fridge, and so it's all, hardened, more or less. And so I've got them sitting on top of my computer tower to warm up so it's easier to get out when I make the gummies after the show. So anyway, what you may or may not have heard was the lid popping, because they do that. They, anybody that tells you, oh, you can only use Mason lid, you can only use your lids one time when you do canning and stuff. Folks, I'm not giving any food advice or anything like that, but there's many people that have cleaned their lids and used them over and over and over again. Hey, there's a pretty good rule of thumb. If you open the jar up and you can't stay in the same room because of the smell, you probably don't want to eat that item. That's a pretty good test to know whether or not your seal failed. So there's a lot of people that they worry to death about that, and they go out and spend a fortune on lids. And I cannot tell you how many times that lid has popped up and down. I couldn't tell you how many times. At least 50. At least 50 times. Now that's 50 damn lids that I could have saved if I were canning. So just a little heads up on that. But that's what kind of startled me, and that's what that noise was, if you heard it. I didn't expect that. Anyway, not going to be a super big long show tonight. I'm not in the best frames of mind today. Just very frustrated, just lots of stuff, just extremely frustrated. Tired of drama, emotion, blah, blah, blah. Just, life can be as easy as we make it. And that's all I want. I just want life to be as easy as I can make it. As easy as I can take responsibility for and to make it. I mean, that's the key. When you want something in life, you have to make it. You have to do it. You have to push towards that goal. And so, it is what it is. I will have peace. I will have peace. Guaranteed. The other thing that kind of put me off is I didn't want to do that review video that I did today. I did not get a bit of joy out of that. It's not, believe me, I want to come at you with a totally different viewpoint. I do. But I can't. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you all. I'm not going to do it. I refuse. If that causes me to shoot myself in the foot and I'm not invited to take in part in any other programs in the future, so be it. I'll tell you this. If there's any companies out there that would latch on to my honesty, I'll tell you right now, this is one place where you'll get an honest review 100% of the time. EcoFlow is probably my favorite company, and they still are my favorite company, and I don't even have any bad thoughts about the item. Not at all. In fact, I made it very clear in the video that for most people it'd probably be fine, not be an issue. That's why I went through detail of explaining what my issues were, because it's not just one, it's multiple issues. It's the fact that It won't hold the GPS due to the tree and the fact that my lawn is not level. There's a slope to it. And so between those two things in combination, it's really not. And my yard sucks. My yard is absolute crap. And I know that. I get that. But I rent. So I'm not going to go out and do all kinds of landscaping and lawn work. It's not my lawn. I do wish I had some grass to seed a little bit with. But it's not my lawn. Just the way it is. And I want to make something else very clear too. I had never, ever intended to keep using the EcoFlow blade. That was never, ever, not even for a moment, a consideration. I mean that. I was not joking or stretching the truth one little bit when I said that I had literally been begging my landlord for years to be able to mow the grass. And that's not an exaggeration. And when we moved in here, he cut the grass the first year we were here, and then the second year we were here, he said, look, he cut our grass because he cut the grass next door. Well, he no longer had to cut the grass next door that next summer, so he asked me if I still was interested in mowing the grass. I'm like, well, yeah. And so he brought me a push mower and some gasoline, and the rest is history. Well, I got to upgrade last year at the end of mowing season because my mower that I was using, which worked fine, no problems with it, but it didn't have adjustments for the wheels, so you couldn't adjust the height of the deck, right? And I don't like how tall the mowers, leave the grass, the mowers the real ultra cheap ones that you can't adjust the deck. I think they leave the grass too high. It's, in my opinion, and I'm picky about it, about a half an inch too high. And so the opportunity arose for me to get this mower, right, which has not even been used for one entire summer. It's a new mower. That has, of course, the wheels that you can adjust, the deck height and all that. Plus, it's just all in all a better mower. And so I have been, to be real honest with you, I have been looking forward all winter to pulling this mower out and using it. So it was never in the cards for any reason, shape, or form that I would continue to use this after I did my task with it. Just because, again, I want to cut the grass. That's about the only exercise I get in life, and I don't want to take that away from me. It's not enough as it is. So, but anyway, I just want to be straight about that, because the last thing I want to do is do anything that might give negative attention or negative light to not only a company that I love, but also a company that is absolutely incredible. And they are. When I saw that they put that test on their website, I'll tell you what, I felt a huge weight. Seriously, I felt a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Well, let's see how this plays out. And I'm not speaking just on the blade. I'm speaking on all of the like products, all of these GPS-enabled robot mowers. Let's see how things shake out with them. I'm not real confident, okay? I'm not real confident. And when I say that, I'm talking about across the board. I'm not. I have actually heard a few things about a couple of the other products on the market, one of them being the Luba, and I've heard that it's got its own hosts of issues. And look, one thing, and I try to explain this to folks the best I can, never go with bare minimums, especially when you're talking about technology and electronics. Never, ever, ever go with bare minimums. And I see it's almost like it's the fad to do right now. What do I mean? What am I talking about? Let me explain. So these portable power boxes, solar generators, whatever you want to call them, they're a hot ticket item right now. People are buying them up like you wouldn't believe, and rightfully so. I get it. However, when it comes to those devices, now I'm trying to lost track exactly where I was going. I hate when that happens. Oh, hang on, it's almost right there. Oh, the using bare minimums. Okay. So, like with the portable power boxes, I see people all the time, right? Just absolutely maxing them out with plugging stuff in. And they're taking pictures and video, and they're hooping and they're hollering, they're all excited. And I'm looking at you thinking you're a damn fool. You don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. Man, the more stress you put electronic components under, the shorter life they will have. Plain and simple. There are two major killers to electronics, and that is dust and heat. And you could add smoke in there as well. But dust, heat, smoke, those are the main killers. And heat is a horrible one. When you get the two together, when you get dust caked on the components and you have cooling problems, that makes it even worse. Well, with these devices, if you're running them full tilt, that is not going to be good on the degradation of the components. Likewise, people want to use bare minimums and don't understand why they can't get from here to there. For instance, they'll buy, let's say, a solar generator, portable power box, whatever name you want to put on it. And they buy the $3,000 model, and then they buy a 100-watt solar panel and plug it in and wonder how come half an hour after they plugged it in, their box isn't full. Well, probably because you didn't realize that you have to be able to put in as quick or quicker than you pull out. It's going to take more than a single 100-watt panel. I see the same thing in this robot mower technology across the board. Again, I'm not talking about any one brand. They all seem to be hell-bent on this one antenna idea. That's the problem. That's the problem. If they wouldn't be so heartfelt and so attached to that one antenna, they could have so easily made multiple antennas, used its own internal, completely used its own, because I know they use RTK and Husqvarna, I think uses what they call E-posts or something like that. It's basically all the same technology. And so what it is doing is it's just adding one more, essentially. Well, I mean, you kind of are adding two more points of access. Kinda, but not really. I'd feel more comfortable saying like 1.5. But it's not enough on its own to be able to do the navigation. Not even close. You need much more nodes for a good triangulation. 2's not going to cut it. 3 is going to be a minimum for good triangulation. 4 is going to really put you in a sweet spot. And of course, a lot of this is going to depend on whether or not there's things in the way of some of the antennas. So a lot of this stuff is dependent on antenna placement and all that stuff as well. I don't think that there is really a out-of-the-box solution for everyone when it comes to this, because it's just a hard cookie to crack, or tough nut to crack, hard cookie to crumble. It's it really is, you're talking about some pushing the envelope of technologies with this. And you're going to run into snafus. And if you try to approach it using bare minimums, you're probably not going to have good results. So again, if they would, if they would add another antenna, one more antenna, it would be enough to probably bridge the gap. 2 more antennas, and they'd have it made. Again, there would be situations, places to where it still wouldn't work out because, again, there'd be a house or something in between the access points. But, like I said, and I want to emphasize this, for most people, they're not going to have this problem. I had compounding problems that stacked up on one another that caused me so many issues. So if you don't have a problem with it getting GPS signal and you don't have a sloping yard, you should be fine. If I didn't have that slope in that yard and if there wasn't gravel like right at the edge of the yard, because it does spin quite a bit on gravel, but mainly, if I didn't have that slope in the yard, it would pretty well be a non-issue because the RTK, the internal system, would be able to keep it on par. But without it being able to hit that GPS once in a while to say, oh, nope, you didn't scoot over like you thought you did. Because, see, it thinks it's scooting over because that's what the system's telling it to do. And the slope and the turn, if you will, is so gradual that it doesn't catch it. See, civilian GPS, even when you do have GPS, civilian GPS isn't super accurate. Well, these companies have learned how to be able to get the maximum accuracy from these GPS satellites, and they do a pretty good job. They really do. DJI drones are incredible with how accurate and precise they are as far as GPS location. But they use different types of technologies to increase the accuracy of that GPS signal. Because you're only, I think, supposed to be accurate to like a meter or something like that when it comes to civilian GPS. So it is what it is. For most people, I think it'd work fine. So I just want to be clear, because I don't. Here's the thing, and this is kind of where my point was going with what I put in the description and in the comment to the video. These influencers out there, a lot of them don't have a lot of mechanical experience. They just don't. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying a lot of them. A lot of them haven't really got their hands dirty beyond having fun. Yeah, well, that does add to it. The cinder block wall. Yes, absolutely, everything. It all adds to it. But yeah, no, most people would be okay. My biggest problem is, well, it's the combination of issues, but if that tree wasn't quite so big, and say that every time the mower got on that side of the yard over there, okay, let's say that every time it got to that side of the yard, it could pick up a GPS signal. It would be a non-issue. Or the other side of the yard, either side of the yard, if it could just hit that GPS for a little bit, it would be fine. But it can't. And again, it's not fault of the product, it's the conditions that I'm in. There's a big ass tree over it. I mean, that's all there is to it. I I don't know all the details on their system and how it works. It may take more satellites than like, say, a DJI drone takes to lock. It takes 10 satellites for a DJI drone. They may require more because of what it does. I mean, it may have to have more satellites to do that. So, like I say, most people it'd be fine for. But if you've got not so good lawn like mine and overgrown with trees, you might have to play with it a lot. I can get decent results with mine. There is a way I can set mine up that I can get fairly decent results in my yard. But that spot that in that review video that I showed you where it misses, it has always missed that. So it has always missed that, no matter how I get things set up or anything, because it goes that long through that section without pinging the GPS that it doesn't realize how far it's off. And then when it does ping the GPS, it said, oh, I need to be over here. And that's when it skips the entire spot. So... But anyway, but yeah, those block walls are a pain in the ass, man. for all signals, they are. I will say this though, inside this block house, on the table that the camera is sitting on right behind me, I can set my drone, my DJI drone, and lock enough satellites to have GPS on my desk in my house. So there's that. There's that. But what do I know? I'm just a lonely peasant. Anyway, I've got a few tabs open. I don't have a ton open because I'm just not in a good frame, and I just figured get done, make it easy, and I do need to make gummies after the show, and so is life. So anyway, I thought I did. I just forgot to click the tab. So I've got a few articles to go over for you. Yep, they're going to be... Oh, I'm going to have matching e-juice and gummies, because they're going to be the pink Starburst gummies that I make this evening. I do them, like, I rotate. Pink Starburst, berry blue, and then we still have some cherry left. Oh, black cherry. Not just cherry, black cherry. Oh. And then I just, I got stuff falling, things are dying. Those are, that's coconut oil in there, infused coconut oil. So I just had it sitting on the computer, like I say, to warm up so they'll come out. Fun times. And that means I need to infuse more oil, because that's the last of it. Fun times. Okay. I got a nicotine up. Oh, speaking of that, before I forget, let me clarify, before I forget for like the 10th time. Plug in my little potty cig for bed. Battery was getting low last night. Yeah, they're special gummies. They're THC gummies. Absolutely. I tell you what, that was a heck of a good investment. That infuser and that decarboxylator and the molds and It was a good investment. It truly was. And hey, you know, the little molds or little pot leaves, it's pretty cool. I want to get some other molds, but I just haven't been that worried about it. Yep, we do it all here from seed to gummy. So all right. You guys might want to see the screen. That might help. I hear you, man. I hear you. My stuff isn't very potent because, well, I don't honestly know what I'm doing. I don't know how to get it more potent without wasting a ton of weed. I don't want to do that. So, I just make them how we make them, and then cause it takes, I put a quarter bag in to make a cup of oil. So I use a quarter bag for a cup of oil. I guess I could have said the weight, like 7.5 grams. Actually, I usually throw in 8 grams. 8 grams per cup of oil. And then, of course, a rounded tablespoon of the, what do they call that crap? Lecithin. I can't say the word. Lecithin. And I know I'm saying it wrong. It's lecithin or something like that. You got to use a tablespoon of that. And I use, again, 8 grams with 1 cup of oil. And I have to eat quite a bit of them. Now, gin doesn't. They'll wipe gin out pretty good. I probably do have a tolerance from hell. I have no doubt that I have a tolerance from hell. So, it is what it is. But yeah, we did do the kratom thing until they legalized this. And to be honest, we couldn't afford the kratom. For both of us, it would have cost us probably $80 or so a month for kratom, and we just can't do that. And so they legalized this here, and in our state, and then so I just immediately went into growing and making my own stuff. So that's all I make is gummies. I haven't tried making anything else yet. So, but yeah, the infuser, there's a lot of those out there, and there's a lot of them really, really expensive. And I will show this real quick because I really do believe that I made a good choice. And anytime I run into something like that, I will absolutely let you know. Now I also have... that's no longer in existence, so I can't show that to you. Well, that sucks. Okay, well, I can't show you the decarboxylator because they no longer sell it. So, however, the infuser that I have is this one right here. So, that's the package that I got, and I love that thing. There's a very big reason why I chose this infuser. You can make a minimum of 1 cup in this. A lot of the other machines are like a minimum of 2 cups. And so I didn't want to be stuck in that position of not having enough of the green to make enough of the oil. So I wanted a machine that you could do it with 1 cup. And I don't know if there's any out there that does it with less than a cup. There's like 2 or 3 machines out there that will do it with 1 cup. But this is your cheapest one of those. So, and it's a good machine. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. Just read the manual, pay attention, and don't stick the damn thing underwater. Don't put it in your dishwasher. You have to be gentle when you're cleaning this and not get water all up inside it because you'll kill it. So, you just have to take care when cleaning it. And I haven't had a single issue out of ours. It's just been working away like crazy. It works wonderful. So, anyway, I'd pass that on. And by the way, that's for infusing all kinds of stuff, not just weed. Make all kinds of tinctures and all that good kind of stuff with it. I don't know how to do all that. Make your own extracts and... Okay. Bank of England tells Britons to accept they are poor. Well, that's kind of almost like a president saying that we have to better compete in the global economy. Now, see, I just hear it phrased a little bit different is all, right? It's the same thing. In the United States, if we want to better compete in the global economy, that can only happen one way, and that's to lower our standard of living. There's no other way to do it. Now, they are just telling them, they're just being flat out blunt. This here says British households and businesses need to accept that they are worse off and should stop asking for wage increases and pushing prices higher, the Bank of England's chief economist Hugh Pill said on Tuesday. Now, I want to bring light to a comment that was left before the show started from the Rebel. And he had said that they blamed it on the wage rise. There's been no wage rise. Plays into the bizarro nonsense. And that was I wanted to make sure to point that comment out. Because, hey, this is what they do. This is what they do. Rich people use the media to get you, and when I say you, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't mean you, but the middle class. You may not be middle class, but what the rich do is they get the middle class to blame the poor for them not being able to reach the rich class. You see how that works? And so as long as the people in middle class fall for it, right? And believe me, they're pitting the poor people against the middle class as well. They do it both ways. Then what they will do is get everybody fighting amongst themselves while they just walk away, just taking every bit of profit out there to be had. And that's been going on for decades, and people just keep falling for it. That's why I keep telling people, don't fall for this stuff. When they talk about people that are receiving benefits, or they're talking about, don't fall for the emotional response that they're trying to garner, okay? If you want to worry about huge losses, huge pissing away of money, there's plenty of that in our government. And what they give out on social programs doesn't even make a dent out of the money that they waste and piss away and can't even account for in many, many other different areas. How many different times is it that the Pentagon couldn't account for billions and even trillions of dollars, right? But they will have you blaming the people that can't make ends meet, even though they work 2 jobs. So they have to get a little bit of help so they can put food on the table. Because their 2 jobs is not enough to do it. And then you got people shitting all over them talking about how, they need to get a job. They need to get off their dead lazy ass. How many jobs do you think they need? What people need to do is slow down. Take time to actually look into things, actually know what's going on, and start placing the blame in the proper places. And if people across the board, across political aisles, across religions, across nationalities, races, if people would do that, if they would just slow down and stop jumping into everything ass first, they would realize just how much they have been weaponized against each other. And I would do anything to be able to shake a magic wand and make that happen. I don't know that it'll happen. I don't know that it'll happen. Without something, some external event happening that would force us to slow down, I don't see it happening. I really don't. This goes on to say, according to Pill, a series of inflationary shocks generated by the pandemic, the conflict in Ukraine, and crop shortages have sent prices in the UK to a 40-year high. He claimed that in response to surging bills and other rising costs, workers and businesses are attempting to transfer the impact of inflation onto each other. People try and pass that cost on to one of our compatriots, saying that we'll be all right, but they will have to take our share too, Pill argued. He warned that the pass-the-parcel game that's going on here, the game that is generating inflation, and that part of inflation can persist. No, what's generating inflation is governments out of control printing money. It is not the average everyday Jane and Joe. They're not causing the inflation. It says here instead, people will have to realize that they are poorer because if the cost of what you're buying has gone up compared to what you're selling, you're going to be worse off, he said. The UK is a large net importer of natural gas, which has been rising in price more rapidly over the past year than the value of the country's exports, mainly services, the economist noted. Well, let's see, what do we have to blame for that? And the answer's not Russia. So somehow in the UK, someone needs to accept that they're worse off and stop trying to maintain their real spending power by bidding up prices, whether higher wages or passing the energy costs through on to customers, he concluded. Annual inflation in the UK stood at 10.1% in March, driven largely by soaring food prices, while the country's cost of living crisis has shown little sign of abating, although the inflation rate dipped from 10.4% in February. It fell less than expected and is still well above the Bank of England's target of 2%. So, telling you what they're going to do is they're going to get people in the different countries around the world begging for mercy. Mark my words, watch what happens. They're going to put people in such a bad way that they'll do anything for a little bit of peace, for a little bit of, I can make it this month. That's when they're going to do the big switch that everybody talks about. You've got all kinds of people that were weeks ago fear-mongering you over CBDC and FedCoin and all the prepper channels coming out of the woodwork. Boogeyman of the week thing. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to happen as a result of some major event. And then you're going to be more or less, to many people, it's going to sound like the grandest idea on the planet. And it probably was the very same way at the end of the Great Depression. And they came out with a New Deal or what have you. And I'm sure there were a lot of people that were just ready to sign the dotted line on anything for a little bit of relief, for a little bit of comfort, to understand, to know that their family would be able to eat that week. It was really that bad. And most people from our society, from our generation, and I'm covering several generations when I say that, don't know what this is like. If you're not somebody that's either gone to other countries in whichever way that was, whether it be as a missionary to help out, whether it be as a vacationer, whatever. I'm telling you, the United States has had it very well off for a very long time. And people here, including myself, especially including myself, have no idea what it's like. No idea. The only thing that makes me different from many other individuals out there is because I know it's coming. I see it's coming. But that's really about where the difference ends, other than, oh yeah, I put back food and supplies. But other than that, we're on the same plane. Buckle up, folks. I really think they're making their push now. U.S. to send nuclear-armed submarines to South Korea. Wait, is this, Okay, so I'm just going to make this real simple and easy. So I don't know if this threat is actually directly related to the sub things, but this is the more important thing to pay attention to, not what Mr. Potato Head was managed to be able to get out of his mouth between bites. The U.S. will deploy submarines to South Korea armed with nuclear ballistic missiles, officials told reporters on Tuesday. Intended to deter North Korea from further missile tests, the deployment is also likely aimed at reassuring the South Korean public, who recently learned that the U.S. systematically spied on their government. The plan will be officially announced by U.S. President Joe Biden and his South Korean counterpart Yoon Suk-yeol at the White House on Wednesday, the officials said in comments to multiple U.S. media outlets. Both men are expected to sign an agreement known as the Washington Declaration, under which they will step up intelligence sharing and joint military exercises, while the U.S. will send nuclear-armed submarines and bombers to South Korea on a rotating basis. We intend to take steps to make our deterrence more visible through the regular deployment of strategic assets, including a U.S. nuclear ballistic submarine visit to South Korea, which has not happened since the early 1980s. One of the anonymous officials said. They compared the move to what we did with European allies during the height of the Cold War and similar periods of potential external threat, referring to the North's missile program. Pyongyang has test-fired more than 100 missiles since the beginning of 2022, and this month alone tested its first solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile and a nuclear-capable underwater attack drone. Officials in Washington and Seoul have claimed last year that the North is gearing up for its seventh underground test of a nuclear weapon. So I know it really appeared like to me it seemed like it really appeared that the Russia-Ukraine thing was going to be what we should keep a close eye on. I don't know. I'm not saying necessarily North Korea, but I think the Asia-Pacific in general is what we should probably have our eyes on. I wouldn't take them off Russia and Ukraine at all, but I would definitely keep a good eyeball on the Asian Pacific, because there are definitely assets being put into place, and there have been assets being put into place for a little while now. And if you may not recall, but some 2 months or 3 months ago, I told you about they were moving more assets into the Philippines. It's still going on. It's not stopped. At this point, from what I can gather, it seems like we're doing more to move assets to the Asian Pacific than what we are over towards the EU, UK. Something to keep a close eye on. Just keep doing what you hopefully know you should be doing. Keep getting ready, poking at the preps, poking at, knowledge, anything you can to further advance you. Oh, hey, I had one other topic I was going to discuss. We've just got the headlines left, but real quick, I don't know why, but yeah. So I actually watched the second episode, season 4 of Skinwalker Ranch, just right before the news show here. I didn't know it came out. Hell, the third episode's come out, and I need to watch it yet. So anyway, I don't know, and I don't even know why I'm giving you guys my opinion or talking about it. To be honest, I'm a very skeptical person. Okay, it takes a fair amount to get me to believe. That being said, I know that property out there has had instances for a very long time that are well documented. You can go back and you can look. This isn't something that just, out of the night, overnight, there's a spook there. But I guess I've said this a million times. I'm an observer. There are a lot of things that I will notice that probably a lot of people wouldn't notice. That is especially true when it comes to body mechanics, facial expressions, and the like. Eye movement, all kinds of stuff. I pick up like a radar on that stuff. And I didn't do anything. I didn't train it's just a gift, I guess. It's not a gift. It's a curse. Let me make that clear. It's a curse. It's nowhere near a gift. Some people might call it a gift, but those people that call it a gift don't have it. Yeah, I'm not buying a lot of their stuff. And when they interact with one another, you can see the goody-goody on the TV in their minds. You know, the grin that they can't wipe off their face. You know, it's... okay, Monk. It just, I don't know. There's a few things that's obvious. I'm not saying that the experiments that they're conducting is fake or anything like that at all. I'm not saying that at all. There could be a number of explanations for what's going on there. So, and I think there is something going on there. I come right out and say I absolutely believe in aliens. I believe in UFOs. I more than believe in them. I don't doubt that one bit. I actually doubt ghosts a hell of a lot more than I doubt aliens. Now, when I say I doubt ghosts, you have to understand I'm not talking about different types of spirit energies and stuff like that. I'm talking about ghosts, right? There are a lot of people out there that really want attention really bad. And that's just something people need to accept. Again, I'm not saying that there aren't things we can't explain. I'm not even saying that some of those things wouldn't be related to our spirit. What I'm saying is what you see being portrayed as spooks and ghosts and stuff, a lot of times is full of shit people that found a way to make money off of gullible people. And that's a fact. That is a fact. All those meters they run around with and all that bullshit, get you one. Get you one. Man, that's the biggest gimmick you could ever imagine. It really truly is. Because there are so many different things that can cause those meters to respond. Okay, they're pretty sensitive meters. And it doesn't take a whole lot to get them to respond. So, and there's different things doing different stuff all the time, and you don't even realize it. Like your phone, for instance, you've got different radios in your phone doing different stuff on different frequencies all the time. All that stuff can be picked up by those meters. Yeah, I don't buy a lot of it. Again, not saying it absolutely 100% of it's fake, but a good 90% of it is. You'd have to be almost as gullible to believe that a magician would tell you the truth when it's literally their job to deceive you. Imagine that. Anyway, got some headlines here. Okay, so last night, I guess it would have been after the show, I'm thinking, I put out this article, British depleted uranium already in Ukraine. I don't know if I read that last night or if I put that out after the show. However, it was kind of important to read. Because the next headline is Russia accuses West of turning Ukraine into radioactive landfill. And there's going to be even more on that. Moon mission makes hard landing. So Japan sent up an unmanned, what do they call it? I want to call it whatever they call it. They just call it a craft. Okay. The craft likely made a hard landing on the lunar surface, and they lost communication. So, unfortunate for that project. I don't like seeing that at all. It doesn't. I'm not one of those people where it's got to be us. We got to be the ones to do it. Absolutely not. I am for science. That is what I'm for. I don't give a damn which flag flies the banner over top of it. I am for science, and that's a shame. It is. Hopefully they could get back up and try it again with much better results. And we're on our way. We are fast on our way. If we don't nuke each other first, we are fast on our way to one hell of a space exploration time period. Because we had never before had what we have today, and that is private industry making this happen. And if you really want to make shit happen, you get private industry involved. If you really want to stop stuff from happening, you get the government involved. So I think you're going to see huge strides to come when it comes to this stuff. And hopefully they do better on the next one. And hopefully we can get I'm going to say a hotel up there. I don't mean a hotel, but hopefully we can get a base up there. Hopefully we can get a base up there and have people up at the moon. And that would be so freaking cool. That would be so cool. Could you imagine? Could you imagine hanging out in your little thing on the moon, your little pod on the moon, and looking at the Earth like it's your moon? That would be freaky. That would be freaky. I could never take that trip, though. I could never take that trip. I'm not one that can easily go on a vacation because I'm one of those people that can't stop thinking about what's happening at home while I'm away. So, yeah, I don't imagine you're going to see me going to the moon anytime soon. Let's see. Italian firms bullish on Russia, says an industry group. And that would probably be something that folks ought to pay attention to, because I think Italy's going to go the way of Russia. Oh, they did? I didn't even know that. Really? Huh. Well, I can guarantee you this. That's political. Is why they did that. I didn't know the FAA shut Musk down. Hang on. Musk. FAA. And SpaceX. Holy crap. Yo, homie. I appreciate that heads up. Wow. Wow. Tweeting this out right as I speak. FAA grounds Elon Musk's SpaceX pending investigation into potential environmental damage. This is political. Nothing was out of the ordinary about anything that happened. Not even the explosion of the aircraft. That was not out of the ordinary. That was procedure. The aircraft was not working effectively. It was not doing what it was supposed to be doing. And in order to prevent some type of big disaster, that's why they blew it up. That was the whole point, to blow it into smithereens, as many tiny pieces as possible, so it's nothing but not graffiti, but confetti coming down, right? That's the whole point. You know, I hate this. When they had their little contest, Musk and Bezos and Richard Branson, I was pissed. Because the FAA did the same thing to Richard Branson. And their excuse as to why they did it was something that was a non-event. There was an anomaly in flight with Richard Branson's ship. But at no point was the mission, the ship, or any of its occupants in any kind of danger. It was not even really that much out of the norm. I believe it missed a mark by a bit, is what it did. It really is not. They've got those missions planned out so precise. And even the little bit of deviation raises flags, rightfully so. However, because that's how you make a safe space program. You're going to have red flags pop up. That's the point. It's not supposed to be used as a political tool, a political weapon to go after individuals. And that's what this is about. It's crazy. Anyway, once again, thank you. I had no idea. That one completely slipped past me, and I had no idea. Let's see. Russia Post estimates losses due to sanctions. Russia delays controversial tax bill, says an official. Taliban kills Kabul airport bomb plotter, says Washington. Japan seeking to ease weapons export ban. Pentagon top brass pleased with Carlson exit, says Politico. Fierce German tank battle reaches court. EU countries sinking in debt, says Bloomberg. Senior Iranian cleric shot dead, says media. U.S. warns of economic catastrophe. Serb leader comments on prospects of sovereign state. Xi Jinping holds phone talks with Zelensky. Let's see. Norway reacts after territory hit by neighbor's rocket. Kiev could capture small Russian towns for leverage, says Washington Post. Yeah, probably ain't going to work out too well. Let's see. Massive fire breaks out at Russian Cultural Center in EU country. Ukraine conflict helps prepare for potential China clash, says Pentagon. Moscow issues warning over use of depleted uranium ammunition. Fighter jet crashes in northern Russia. Kremlin explains seizure of foreign assets. Erdogan cancels trips for health reasons. Russia to investigate crimes by French mercenaries. No use in saying who's right in Ukraine, says Lula. Yeah, I mean, how can you even do that? That's the thing I don't understand. You know, nobody is in the right. The only ones that are in the right are the citizens that are saying whichever way it is that they want to go. They're the only ones in the right. So, AOC gloats at deplatforming Tucker Carlson. Pope gives women voting rights at bishop's meeting. Top Russian spy raises hyena alarm. And by the way, backing up one article, I'm not going to get involved in a discussion about it, but it's telling. It's telling. But when I say it's telling, I'm saying that from a biblical viewpoint, not a societal viewpoint. Need to make that clear. Disney sues Florida governor for retaliation. Zelensky aide names compensation for nuclear weapons. Russia understands Western sanctions aren't temporary, says PM. Biden threatens North Korea with annihilation. Oh, I read that. Well, kind of read it. Okay, I glossed over it. Poland seizes Russian embassy and trade mission funds. Terrorist attack thwarted in Crimea. Brazil bans Telegram over neo-Nazi data. Argentina drops dollar in trade with China. Zelensky's right-hand man contradicts U.S. general. A Russian official condemns terrorism against cultural center. And lastly, because I said that one, Russia and Ukraine exchange prisoners. Or that was the FAA one. Just keep an eye on this stuff, because they're getting ready for their big push. It just seems like there's a whole lot of loose ends that they're trying to cover real quick like. We'll see. We'll see. Like I always say, the answer stays the same for us. That's the good thing, right? That's the at least one of the silver linings in the cloud. We shouldn't be lost. We shouldn't be confused on what we need to be doing. We may not understand what it is that we're doing it for, but we know what it is we need to be doing. So just keep doing it. Keep at it. thank the Father for every extra day, hour, minute He gives you. That's a blessing. Believe me, it's a blessing. Anyway, I am going to take my happy ass out of here so I can become Mr. Gummy Man. And I will chat with you all tomorrow, God willing. So anyway, I appreciate you coming tonight. Hope to see you again tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.